Hello, my name is Rita Ben Kalti from North Horizon Immigration. Welcome to my office. Today I'm going to talk to you about a very, very important issue, which is how do you choose the right professional for your immigration application? Last week, a client came to my office, and upon talking a little more about his case and what was going on, we realized that he was a little bit of a victim of fraud. This means that he went to see somebody who gave them an advice that actually did not help him for his case, but put him in a few problems because he started to work when really he didn't have the authorization to do so. So this week I want to talk to you about the importance of choosing the right professional to help you with your immigration process. You want to make sure that you're going to avoid fraud, that you're not going to do things that are illegal, because you will be the one who's responsible for it, and you can be the one who gets into problems with the Canadian government. The first thing you need to know when you're going to choose a professional to help you is that they have to be either a Canadian lawyer, a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, or if you're going to immigrate to Quebec, you can also use the services of a notary. How do you find out if your lawyer or if your immigration consultant have the right license to help you? Well, if it's a regulated consultant, you can go on their website and you can find their name and their numbers, and you will know if they're active members of the regulatory body. If they're lawyers, they're usually going to be part of the law society of the province that they work in, and you can do some research about have they dealt with other immigration cases before, are there reviews online that talk about their work, can you get in touch with somebody else who's used their services to know how did it go for them. The second piece of advice that I can give you is to make sure that you understand what is the immigration program or strategy that is being designed for you and for your family if you have one. So that means ask questions to this professional. Make sure that you write down what they tell you so that you make sure to follow all the rules, and most specifically, understand what you're doing. If the solution sounds a little strange, or if it's too good to be true, if it sounds too easy, or if every time you ask the lawyer consultant, do you think this is okay? Do you think this is okay? And they tell you, oh yeah, no problem, no problem. But you've heard something different somewhere else, just sometimes even getting a second opinion with another professional might help you make the best decision. In this specific case, what the client went through is that he had a student permit, and so he was only allowed to work 20 hours a week. Now, I know in a student permit, some of you might say, you are allowed to work full-time during your break on your vacations. And that's true, but only if you're going to study full-time the next months that are coming. And so in this specific case, the person was done studying. And so the consultant told them, now you can go work full-time. But this person didn't have a work permit, they finished their studies, and they did not qualify for what's called a post-graduation work permit. So the truth is, this person was not allowed to work, and they've been working full-time for several months, so now we have to go and fix that problem with the government, and it could have been avoided very easily by just receiving the right advice. The third tip that I can give you is make sure you always have a written evidence of the advice that was given to you. That written evidence can be in the form of a contract that you sign. It can be an email where the professional is going to write down the details about what you guys talked about in the conversation. Not the best, but sometimes it could be a text message if you ask them a specific question and they answer you. I wouldn't think text messaging is the best way for you to communicate with this professional. But make sure you keep the written evidence of how they answer your questions about what you're allowed or not allowed to do, or they answer your questions about what's the strategy and the step-by-step process that you're going to use for your immigration strategy. The The fourth very important element, I touched on it in the previous point, is a signed contract. Now, what you're looking at in this contract is to make sure the responsibilities of this professional are laid out. You know exactly what the application is going to be, what they're going to do for you, how much you're going to pay them, and what it is that you're paying for. Are you paying for professional fees for the person to do the job? Are you paying for government fees? In this specific case, the client told me that the professional he was working with asked him to pay the $1,000 fee that the company has to pay the government for something called an LMIA. Now, this is illegal because nobody can pay that fee but the company. So it's absolutely wrong if a professional is asking you to give them money to pay for something that you are not supposed to pay for. So very important to know, and all these details should be in the contract. Another important thing that you have to look at in this contract is who is signing this contract. Is it an agent who's signing? Is it the actual lawyer or the consultant or the notary if you're in Quebec? Is it, you know, the employee who works for them? Is there a signature at all? In the contract that I looked at last week with this client, nobody else had signed it but him. And so if you're the only person signing a contract, then you're having a contract with yourself. There's no one else responsible on the other end of this contract. So you want to make sure that it's very clear who is the person who's responsible for giving you this support, this immigration advice, and who's going to do your immigration forms and application for you. My final advice for you is follow your instinct. If you feel like you're working with a person that you're always a little bit unsure of what they're telling you to do, or you're unsure about what is it that you're even doing with them, or you feel like they're not treating you fairly, they're not treating you like this is something that's serious for them, they're not taking your life as seriously as they should, or if you just feel like maybe they're giving you an advice that you just don't trust them, I would highly recommend just don't work with them, especially if you have zero reference of who this person is and if they've worked with other people before. So that's all. Choosing the right professional to help you is extremely serious when it comes to immigration, because the government will not listen to an excuse like, well, I didn't know, as a way to forgive you for any mistakes that you make along the way. It is you who are responsible for all the information that is provided to the government, for all your actions. You're the one at the end of the day who's accountable for them. So make sure you choose the right professional. It'd be a pleasure to work with you. If you are interested in doing your immigration application, you can always contact us. The details are below this video. If you like the video, please share it with your friends, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel.